Folks, we finally have a Speaker of the House after 3 entire weeks of chaos, of BS, of not knowing what in the hell they were doing. We finally voted in a Speaker as of about 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. Yes, Mike Johnson is the new Speaker of the House, and I could not be any happier because he's not a Freedom Caucus member, but he is a Freedom Caucus associate. He might as well be a Freedom Caucus member. I know I kind of went to speak on it yesterday. If you watched the video yesterday, I was naming out all the nominees, right? And I said Mike Johnson, and I went, and then I moved on. I was hoping for Mike Johnson. I love Mike Johnson. He's a strong conservative. He's from Louisiana, so Louisiana in the House. We've got the top 2 congressmen. Well, I say top 2 Republicans. Yeah, Steve Scalise and Mike Johnson, who is the Speaker. Steve Scalise is a majority leader. He's not the whip, but he's the leader. But man, I can't believe they actually done it, and unanimously. Yes, 220 votes out of 220 that were present. Yeah, there were some that were missing. I think we have 221 Republicans. There was some Democrats that weren't there either because there was only 209 votes for Hakeem Jeffries, and we know there's 213 Democrats and 221 Republicans, making up 435. I think it's 435. Something like that. 434. Something like that. But we have a Speaker of the House, folks. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Do you know Mike Johnson? He's the vice chairman of the Judiciary, or he was the vice chairman of the Judiciary Committee. He's a hawk in the committee hearings. I've covered him. I've posted lots of his videos in the past because he comes pretty hard, man. He's a strong conservative. That's what we needed. We didn't need somebody like Kevin McCarthy, who's just a rhino, essentially. We need a strong conservative in there. And in his speech he gave out, he did say that they're putting a package together for Israel, which I'm not too happy about. But I understand Israel's an ally, and we need to assist them in whatever means. But next thing he said is, we're attacking the border. The Senate and President Biden can no longer ignore the problem. They're going to have to solve these issues, and I'm glad and I'm here for it. He also said that his Congress is going to be known for reducing power, decentralizing the power of Congress. And that made me one of the happiest people alive. To hear a congressman say that they're decentralizing power is the first step in getting rid of that boogie swamp monster that we have in D.C. I hope and pray for his sake and for the sake of the country that he follows through on decentralizing that, or at least attempting to. I know he doesn't hold all the power in the world, and blah, 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 blah. I know. But it's a first step in giving the power back to the people and trying to fix this broken government, trying to fix our southern border, trying to fix the inflation issues that we have. Folks, we need help, and we need people in there that are going to be willing to do the work to give us the help that we need. And hopefully Mike Johnson will bring that to us. I'm sorry we couldn't get Liz Cheney. That was my second pick. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding, y'all. But I just wanted to say that, it makes me happy. He wasn't my first pick. Y'all, I'm sure y'all probably already know that I would prefer Chip Roy. Yeah, that's my favorite congressman. Like him, hate him. I like him. I like what he has to say. Pretty much everything he says, I'm in agreement with. So, but Chip Roy endorsed Mike Johnson, obviously. So, I'm there for it, man. I looked into his background. He's a constitutional lawyer. Just what we need. You know, I know lawyers ain't really the best people on the planet, but he's a constitutional lawyer. That means he knows the Constitution, which is a good thing. All right, so we got some more fun. Well, I'm sorry. What's up, y'all? How's your day going? Huh? How about that? 5 minutes into the damn video. Don't forget, hit that like button down below. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about our new speaker. Hit that subscribe button, too. I mean, unless you already subscribed. As if you already subscribed and you hit that subscribe button, it's going to unsubscribe you, which that's not what we need. It seems like somebody's been doing that on the channel because I've been going from 1151 to 1150 to 1151 to 1150. I don't know, I guess somebody's messing with me. That, or I'm gaining a subscriber and then losing a subscriber, which, I mean, that could be what's going on. I don't know, but how's your day going, by the way? Anyway, we got some more news to get into, so let's jump into it right quick. Rep. Jamal Bowman hit with misdemeanor charge for pulling fire alarm to delay House vote. That's right. We all thought he was just going to get away scot-free. I really thought he was going to get away scot-free. I had no idea they were going to actually criminally charge this dude for pulling the fire alarm. But it is illegal to pull a fire alarm to delay a House floor vote. Now, I know that, you know, most people aren't trying to delay a House floor vote, but if you are trying to delay a House floor vote and you do pull a fire alarm, you can get criminally charged for that. Apparently. So let's check this out. This is how the New York Post comes. It says, far left, which he probably is. I mean, I don't know nothing about Jamal Bowman, but far left New York Rep. Jamal Bowman was charged with a misdemeanor Wednesday after he pulled a fire alarm last month to delay a House vote on spending legislation to avoid a partial government shutdown. I did cover that on the channel briefly, but Bowman, 47, wow, look, a 47-year-old pulled something a 13-year-old would pull. That tells you about some of the people that we have in Congress. And is one of the reasons why I say Democrats are insane. But Bowman, 47, was due to be booked and processed by Capitol Police Thursday on the charge of raising a false fire alarm, which carries a minimum sentence of 6 months in prison and a fine of up to $1,000. Bowman had insisted the September 30th mishap was an honest mistake, yeah, right, caused by him trying to open a door to rush to a vote. Nobody makes the mistake of pulling a fire alarm door as a push to open door button. Sorry, forgot that button word in there. However, surveillance images showed the alarms and emergency exits were clearly marked and included detailed instructions about how to open them. That's right. Yeah, there was big signs on the door, and everybody knows those fire alarms are red, and they say fire alarm. Some of them have it on there twice. So, yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing, and, you know, hats off to the Capitol Police for doing their damn job, for charging this guy, not being scared of the far left like some people are. But that was just a quick story I wanted to cover because I thought it was freaking hilarious. Now, we got another story I want to get into. I don't know if y'all remember the other day, I asked y'all, I was wondering why Israel is delaying the ground invasion of the Gaza Strip. And I was hoping that it was the U.S. trying to stall them to try to keep peace. But apparently, that's not the case. Apparently, it's just an escalation, is all it is. But I got the story. Let's get into it. Israel agrees to delay, again, invasion so Pentagon can rush air defense to the Middle East. Right. I'm telling you, some of these warmongers in Washington, they are going to trigger World War III. We already have Ayatollah screaming mad at the United States there was an article I was going to cover that one, but this one seems to be a little bit more important. But I'm telling you, these people, it's drops in the bucket, man. They just keep piling up and piling up and piling up. And eventually, it's going to get to a tipping point, and we're going to have World War III, and nobody wants this. Nobody that's sane wants this. Only insane warmongers want war. And I don't get it. The death of millions of people is what possibly could happen in another world war. I mean, the last one, I forget how many millions died in that war. I want to say there was 7 million Russians alone. I think the U.S. lost like 2 million. It was nuts. It was a large number. I don't know the numbers exactly right off the top of my head, but all right, let's get into this story because I don't want to run too long, y'all. Israel agreed to delay an invasion of Gaza until the Department of Defense completes plans to boost air defenses around U.S. troops in the Middle East, the Wall Street Journal reported Wednesday. The Pentagon is sending nearly a dozen air defense systems to the U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM, region Iraq, Syria, Kuwait, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates to protect American service members from credible threats of attacks by Iran-backed militias. U.S. officials have asked Israel to create time to emplace the air defenses before launching operations that promise to trigger more bombardments on U.S. military positions, the Wall Street Journal reported, citing U.S. and Israeli officials. The system will be in place as early as this week, the officials told the Wall Street Journal. Israel is also factoring the potential for additional negotiations with Hamas over hostage releases and planning for a humanitarian corridor allowing supplies into Gaza once the invasion starts, the officials told the Wall Street Journal. Biden administration readies plans to evacuate thousands of Americans from Israel and Lebanon. Israel's military is geared to undertake a full-scale ground incursion into Gaza with the goal of destroying the Hamas terrorist organization responsible for deliberately slaughtering 1,400 Israelis, mostly civilians, in a bloody October 7th invasion. However, the operation has been held up for days. Iranian proxy groups accosted bases hosting U.S. troops with rockets and drones at least 13 times between October 18th and October 24th, the Pentagon said, causing minor injuries for at least 24 troops. Defense officials see this as a concerted attempt by Iran to draw the U.S. into conflict, mushrooming across the Middle East. The U.S. does not seek conflict with Iran. We do not want this war to widen. But if Iran or its proxies attack U.S. personnel anywhere, make no mistake, we will defend our people. We will defend our security swiftly and decisively. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said at a UN Security Council meeting on Tuesday. That's right. Iran-backed Islamist groups in Iraq had threatened to target American forces if the U.S. intervened to help Israel in its war against Hamas. And they know better than that. They know that that's our biggest ally in the Middle East. And, in America, most Americans love Israel, love Jews because of our background, mostly Christian background. They know we're going to help them. They know that the U.S. tries to be the world police. And it seems like in doing so, in attempting to be the world police, it's like we're pushing these people, like saying, you're not going to touch me. You're not going to touch me. Like, coaxing them into attacking us so we can go out and attack them. I'm telling you, man, these people, posturing is going to be our downfall. On Saturday, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin directed the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group, which was headed to the eastern Mediterranean, to boost deterrence vis-a-vis actors seeking to attack Israel to the CENTCOM area of responsibility. Austin also activated multiple Patriot batteries and one Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or THAAD battery, in locations throughout the region to increase force protection for U.S. forces, according to Pentagon press release. An unspecified number of forces were given notice to be ready in the event the Pentagon required them to rapidly deploy to the Middle East, the release said. The Pentagon and Israeli government did not immediately respond to the Daily Caller News Foundation. Yeah, that's who this is from. I was reading the article from the Daily Caller. So, and obviously the Pentagon didn't respond to them specifically. But I tell you, Iran is responding. Iran, I don't know if they'll attack first. What's going to happen? Israel is gonna invade into Gaza. Iran is going to be like, oh my God. And so they're going to assist. And it's just, like I said, it's just drops in the bucket. It's just going to be more and more and more and more until they fire a rocket at a carrier strike group, you know, or happen to hit a carrier strike group with one of these rockets. And then boom, World War III, there you have it. Millions dead. I really hope we don't see that. I really hope we can avert this, because nobody wants war. I don't want war. Do you want war? War is bad. Some people think it's good. Some people think it'll boost the economy. Yeah, it will. Look at World War II. World War II essentially drug us out of the Great Depression and into a great era of prosperity that lasted, until current times, you could say. I mean, we had a little economic downturn in 2008, and then we're in an economic downturn right now. So that sparks up conspiracy theorists to think that these people are actually calling for war. And I can't say I disagree with that. I'm not a very big person on conspiracy theories, but you put all the evidence together, I can see how they would come to that conclusion. I may not agree with it, but I can see how they would come to that conclusion. I don't know, though. You guys, let me know down in the comments section. What do you think is really going on here? Is it really just a bunch of little small steps? Or is this some kind of orchestrated thing? I really have no idea, but the conspiracies are running wild right now with all this. You know, there's a big one out there that says that Netanyahu allowed Hamas, you know, because supposedly Israel has one of the greatest intelligence departments to you know, second to only us. And, you know, how could they have not known this attack was coming? I mean, Jesus, Egypt tried to warn Israel of this attack, supposedly, right? So how could they have not known? That's the conspiracy theory, is that Netanyahu allowed this to happen so he could go in there and obliterate the Gaza Strip, obliterate Hamas. You know, they say they're doing it on purpose. I don't know if I believe that, man. You know, but it's hard to put anything past some of these world leaders. It's really hard. It's hard to say. There are very evil humans out there, and, you know, humans, even not evil humans, still do evil things that sometimes, if you push somebody to the right point, they will commit evil. Not everybody. Some people will refuse. Other people, you know, it don't take much at all. Some people outright will go out there and provoke evil on purpose. It's crazy. You know, humans are on a spectrum. Oh, God. There we go, man. Yeah, we're on a spectrum. We have good and evil. But there ain't nothing that black and white, man. I'm sorry. Nothing is that black and white. War is terrible regardless. Sure, you may have a right to defend yourself, but, you know, if it means killing somebody, was it worth it? I don't know, man. See, I staunchly oppose the death penalty for anything. I really do. You know, I just can't seem to get any sort of a justification for murder, for outright murder. You know, I've had people sit there and explain to me, you commit this certain crime, whatever that crime may be, you know, they took somebody's life, and when they did that, they forfeited their right to life. No, I'm sorry. You know, it doesn't work like that. You know, I can't say I've always felt that way. I have held opinions in the past that I thought that some people should have been put to death for what they done. But, you know, as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit wiser and realized that, you know, everybody has reasons for doing stuff. You know, there's hardly any just evil for the sake of being evil out there when it comes to murder. I mean, sure, you have that, but even still, even in that instance, does that give somebody else the right to take that life away? You know, it's like I say, you know, like the argument goes, when that person took the life of another person, they forfeited their right to life. Sure, that is a simple line of logic that I can follow that line of logic. But the thing that comes in behind that is, okay, who has the right to serve that? You know, who gives the government the right to take that life? You know, well, that's what I'm getting at. Sure, he may have forfeited his life, his right to life, but who has the right to actually take that? The government doesn't. Nobody does. And that's my point. That's my defense, or that's my objection to death penalties. I don't agree with it at all. Especially when we have a lot of instances of people getting a death sentence, getting killed, essentially, and then later we found out they were innocent. Just for a second, put yourself in that person's shoes. You get accused of a murder you didn't commit, and then you are put to death for that. Imagine being there, you know, sitting in that electric chair or whatever, knowing that you're innocent and you're about to be put to death for something you did not do. I just don't get it, man. I can't get it. I can see locking somebody away for the rest of their life, put them in a box, throw away the key. I can see that. That is far better than being responsible for taking somebody else's life. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. And that's all I got for this one, y'all. Don't forget, hit that like button, you guys. It sure does help out a lot. Leaving a comment helps with the algorithm a whole lot. So I implore everybody, let me know what you think. I love to hear from you guys out there. Give me your opinion. Even if you just want to leave a thumbs up emoji in the comment section, I would ask you to do that. Anything. Doesn't matter. I appreciate you watching. Thanks. And have a good day and try to be positive. Peace.